Hey everyone, Miss Pie here. I wanted to take a second to go over some examples and some rules for adding integers. I've also posted this in Google Classroom in a Word doc. So if the integers have the same sign, then we're adding those numbers and we're keeping the sign. If the integers that we're adding have different signs, then that means that we actually have to subtract them, and then we're going to keep the sign of the larger number, okay? So for example, same sign. You guys have been adding those positives your whole life pretty much, and so now we're going to think of it from a different aspect. Instead of thinking about you having $11, think about you owe somebody $11. You borrowed money. Then the next day you go back and you say, hey, I need $5 more. Can I borrow 5 more for lunch today? So if you started in debt and then we are borrowing more, you're gonna end up in debt still. That's why we have to keep those signs, okay? So our answer is gonna be negative, and then we're just gonna take the absolute value and we're gonna say, okay, what's 11 plus 5? 16. So our answer is negative 16. So now we owe that person a total of $16. Example 2, same thing, negative 8 plus negative 5. If you see that they are both negative numbers, you just add them together and keep that negative sign. So our answer here is going to be negative. We can tell that just by looking at it. The only reason the parentheses are around the second number, remember, is to separate this addition from the negative sign there. So we know our answer is going to be negative, and then 8 plus 5 is 13. So your answer would be negative 13. One more example, if we have two negative integers that we are adding together, we started off in debt, we're borrowing more money, our answer is going to be negative, and then we're just going to ask ourselves, okay, what's 9 plus 1? 10. So your answer is negative 10. Okay, so same sign, not too difficult. You're just going to keep whatever number or whatever sign both of those numbers have. If you have a different sign, okay, so if we have a positive number and we're adding a negative, first of all, I think I've said this before, it may have been on a Zoom, but if you ever see that we are adding a negative, I want you to automatically start thinking in your mind, that is the same thing as subtracting, okay? Here's the thing with positives and negatives. Negatives are really strong, so they're always going to overpower that positive. Okay, so 10 plus a negative 1. I'm looking, I know they have different signs, so I know that I have to subtract. So in actuality, I'm going to ask myself, what is 10 minus 1? Okay, when we are adding integers with different signs, I think it's easier to figure out whether you're going to add or subtract, and then you can go back and find the sign. Or if you want to stick to doing that first, that's fine as well. So 10 minus 1 is going to give us 9. And then we need to ask ourselves, okay, well, what number's bigger, 10 or 1? Don't worry about the negative, and it being a smaller number than the 10. We're just looking at 1 and 10. Yes, 10 is bigger, so our answer is going to be positive. Okay, second example. We've got a negative 15 plus 12. 1 negative, 1 positive. If we don't see any parentheses around this second number, you automatically know that it is a positive number, okay? So whenever we have different signs, 1 negative, 1 positive, when we're trying to put them together, we have to actually subtract them. So it's almost like we could think, okay, well, I had borrowed $15 from my mom altogether. I've worked, I've done chores. My allowance only covered $12. So I went ahead and I gave that money back to my mom so that I don't owe her as much, okay? So now you could ask yourself, well, how much money do you owe your mom now? 15 minus 12 is 3, okay? And then the reason I say that we still owe her is because we had borrowed a larger number than what we paid back. So we're still gonna be in the negative here, okay? That's just a real life scenario, looking at the signs, okay? You're just gonna say, all right, what number's bigger, 15 or 12? 15's bigger, so we're gonna keep that sign. So your answer is negative 3. 13 plus a -4, okay? Same thing, one is positive, one is negative, so we've got our different signs. Remember, adding a negative is the same thing as subtracting, okay? So we could even think of this as just 13 minus 4. 13 minus 4 gives us 9. And then we are going to have to determine, okay, is our number going to be positive because 13 is bigger, or is our answer going to be negative because 4 is bigger? You guys are smart. 13 is bigger, so we're going to have a positive answer. So your answer is +9. I hope this helps. Thank you. Have a great day, y'all.